Good evening, everybody. How is everybody doing tonight? I hope you guys are having a good day. It is Friday. Crazy how fast the time flies. Unbelievable. I got to tell you, she's right here at the moment. She's been in her bed, upside down, laying on her back, feet sprawled all over the place. The minute I started the live stream, before I even said a word, she came out and got right here. She's too funny. It's like she knows. Well, it's just like when I do videos. She knows when it's video time, don't you? Good girl. So, anyway, before we jump into anything, I would just like to remind everybody that this is a very family-friendly oriented channel. I would ask you all to please be decent in the chat. No racism, no nastiness. If you cannot abide by those very simple, easy rules, those awesome people lit up in blue are going to boot you out of here because we are not going to tolerate that. So we got Lone Wolf Preppers here, CJ's in the house, Terry's here, JJ, Carol Prince, Delbert, hey Delbert, Nostradamus, Smoking Swamp Outdoors, Peaches Rambo, Kathy's in the house, Joan T, Janet is also here. Good to see everybody. Sharon Barrett, Dale from Ohio, Sam is here. So good to see everybody here, and hopefully we'll have an enjoyable chat this evening, and we'll talk about some stuff. Hey Ryan, how's it going, buddy? Having fun at work? So, um, anybody that watched my earlier video today, I had to help put somebody into a nursing home today. And before, just let me, I'm going to clear a couple things up, just so people don't judge the people that had to do it too harshly. This gentleman has no children, so he doesn't have anybody that could step up. His sister, he was out. He was from Maine. He was out. Okay, your breath is horrible. I mean, like really bad. Um, he's from Maine originally. Was out in California forever and a day, and started to decline out in California. Um, and his sister, who they started out in California, and then they came here to West Virginia. She had him come here, and he lived right down the street from them. Well, they're both in their 80s. I mean, so they're not young, and it was getting to be too much for them. And his declining health was a big factor in their decision to do what they had to do. It still tore this woman apart. I'm telling you right now, guys. I mean, if you had to sit there and watch this woman sob today, I'm going to tell you something that happened. I want you to think about this, okay? So you have this gentleman, um, cognitive declining, confusion issues, can't remember. I mean, if something happened an hour and a half ago, you ask him what it was, he couldn't tell you, okay? So here she is, she's hugging him goodbye, and she's crying, all right? And she comes up to maybe his chest, and he takes his hand, and tell you, this is humanity, folks, okay? He takes his hand and he puts it up under her chin, and he says to her, he goes, "Don't cry, it's okay." I mean, it breaks your heart. Breaks your heart because he truly did not understand what was going on, and that's. I'm going to tell you what, you couldn't be a human being and not care in a situation like that. I mean, it's heart wrenching. It's heart wrenching, and being someone that has worked in many different nursing homes throughout the years, they're always understaffed. They never have enough people. They can't give the kind of care that the people deserve. So, an example, when they were talking, they have a schedule. They give these people a shower twice a week, but he could get a bed bath, is what the lady said. I knew she was full of crap. Okay, because like I said, I've worked in those nursing homes, and here was the funny part. I'll tell you this right now. When she's all playing the role, nurse manager, playing a role, and blah 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 blah. The minute she found out I was a nurse, and I was, she was like, man, she didn't want to talk to me no more because I know, you know what I mean. So, but My aunt had to put her husband of 60 years in a nursing home because of cognitive decline on him. It happens, Okie Forge. It happens. It's not something that a lot of people do lightly. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people out there to dump their old people in a nursing home, don't care, and they never see them again, unless, of course, it's Christmas or Easter. That's when they come and see them. But it is. You know, not everybody can do and take care of their loved ones. They just can't. They just, I mean, it's yeah, time is everyone's worst enemy. That's for sure. You know, and when you see a situation like that, you look at your own mortality. You know, and just a very, very, like I said, very sad, sad situation. So, it was a rough day for them, and I was glad to be able to be there for them. And it was just not fun, just not fun, and it wasn't pleasant. So that's kind of where I am with that one. So just putting that out there, and kind of wanted to explain it, that it wasn't like they were like, oh, we can't wait to get rid of them. It had nothing to do with that. It was just it was a terrible, terrible situation, and they didn't really have a choice, because they just couldn't keep doing it. Like I said, again, they're both in their 80s. Her husband and her are both in their 80s. So anyway, but so that was. I'll tell you what, rough. That's rough. That was a rough day. I'm going to be honest with you. I was just like, I was mentally exhausted. To be honest with you, just because it's so tough. And the guy is such a good guy. I mean, even though he's clueless, just a really good guy. So, but anyway, it's what are you going to do? I mean, it is what it is, and they made the difficult decision to do what was best for him. Yes, absolutely. That's exactly what they did. He was losing weight. He's living on his own. So, there's nobody there to supervise him unless they would go down in the morning, give him breakfast, give him his meds. And, then they would go in the afternoon and check on him and stuff like that. But, he spent a lot of time alone, and, just tough. So, but anyway, so, and he didn't know what was happening. He didn't understand. He kept asking, like, they came in and they were doing his vital signs and everything like that. And he's like, why am I here? I'm not sick. I, a lot of you will never understand, honestly, but because I've been in this field for so long, like I said, I know, and it's just tough. You know, it's just tough. But, hey, Philip, good to see you here. Yeah, just one of those days, one of those days. I think we all have them, and it's all part of it. So a lot of tornadoes, obviously, going on right now. Ryan Hall has been doing a live stream and doing all that, covering everything. And tornadoes are brutal. I mean, it's how do you plan for that? I mean, how do you plan for that? So Dawn says, when you work in hospice, you just know. Yeah, I mean, and I've done plenty of hospice in my time too. So yeah, it's looking back, if I'll be honest with you about something. When I got done with nursing school, I took a temporary position because back then, right, you took your boards twice a year. You took your boards in April and you took your boards in November. Well, I graduated from nursing school in December. So I had to wait until April to take my nursing board. So I had to go to work. So, you could work on a temporary license, until you got, you passed your boards, but that was only going to last for so long. So I had taken a position. When I had taken I took my boards, and back then in the Stone Age, and I was actually one of the first groups of people that actually took their boards on a computer. So before then, like when my cousin took his boards, he spent, I think, 2 full days in an auditorium. I mean, think about that, 2 like 8-hour days, in an auditorium answering questions. And like when I went and took my boards, it was on a computer. And then once you reach a certain level of competency, the computer shuts off. So there was a minimum of 80, I think it was 85 questions when I took my boards, and a maximum of like 250 questions. So once I hit 85 questions, my computer shut off. Just boom, done. And I was like, you're so jacked in, and you're like, what happened? Well, you reached that level and you're done. And so, like a lot of us, how many questions did you take? There was that whole big discussion with the classmates, and I told them, mine had shut off at 85, and they were like, well, how do you think you did? And I said, well, I don't want to be cocky, but I'm pretty sure I passed, and so obviously I did. But anyway, so after you took your boards, you had a 6 week window where you had to wait to see if you passed or not. It wasn't like now they pay an extra $10 and they find out like right away if they passed or not. So it's totally different now. But when I did it, that's the way that it was. So I had taken a temporary position um, is a physical therapy assistant in this one nursing. Well, it was a hospital, but I'd taken a position as a temporary physical therapy aide. So I did that for 6 weeks. And after doing that, I remember thinking, man, if I had to do it all over again, um, yeah, if it shuts off at that point, you passed. Well, yeah, I pretty much knew I passed on, but I didn't want to be cocky. You know what I mean? So, um, but anyway, and after I got done doing that, and I got that yes, I passed my boards, and now I can go on and work as a nurse. I was going, man, I wish I had been gone to physical therapy, become a physical therapist, because here's the difference. Okay, in nursing, if you're a nurse, you deal with death. Okay, that's what we deal with. That's our job. We deal with death. We deal with a lot of suffering, a lot of pain, dealing with a lot of end of life stuff. If you do any kind of nursing home work at all, they come in one way and they go out only one way, and that's on a gurney and a body bag. So you deal with a lot of death. Well, with the physical therapy, they come in, you rehab them, they get better, and they go home. Okay, and that was kind of nice. Nice to see people get better. Nice to see them go home. And so that was I looking back, like I said again, if I had to do it all over from day one, I would have been a physical therapist, to be honest with you, because it was just and I have no regrets about being a nurse, none. I've had a great career. I have truly enjoyed what I did. But you just it's part of the whole thing. And and then you're not only dealing with the patient, you're dealing with family. So it's and nothing teaches us how to handle such loss. Yeah, there's nothing that shows you how to deal with death. And I think when you deal with nurses, hey, full of hope. The plus side of nursing home is meeting others in the same boat. Uh, we meet great people and supported one another the long goodbye. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much for the donation. And you're 100% correct. You know, nursing actually hardens you in a lot of things. It does, Don. And I was just going to talk about that. You develop. A lot of nurses have a twisted sense of humor. Okay, and the reason is that we have that twisted sense of humor is it's how you cope, right? It's how you cope with stuff when you're dealing with the different things that you deal with. Um, you deal with it with try to do humor, and so it's just it's not for everyone. I'm going to tell you right now, it is not for everyone. You have to have a strong constitution to be in nursing, because like I said, then again, you deal with family members with unrealistic expectations, and those type of things, and they think that their loved one should be taken care of before everybody else, and it doesn't you know it doesn't work like that. It just doesn't. So, but like I said, I've had no regrets being a nurse. I've met some wonderful people throughout my nursing career. I got to say that. All of my favorite people now that Richie passed away, all the my favorite people that I've had through the years are all gone. You know what I mean? They're all gone, and and that part kind of sucks, but being able to be in their lives and hopefully being a positive in their lives and bringing them a little bit of laughter and stuff like that. It makes it worthwhile. Like I said, like with Richie, that was I'll tell you, that was the hardest one for me because he got dealt, and the only way to put it, guys, he got dealt a shit hand. 5 years old, normal little boy, gets in an automobile accident with his mother and his sister. They get hit by a dump truck. He ends up paralyzed from the neck down on a ventilator for the rest of his life. So, he didn't have friends that he was hanging out with at the time that would come over and visit him and comfort him and be his buddy still, even though he had this tragic accident. There wasn't anything like that. And so his friends were his nurses. That's it. And man, I'll tell you what, I love that kid. I am not going to lie. I loved him with all my heart and soul. He was so genuine. He made me really appreciate life so much more because even though he had been dealt such a terrible situation, he handled it with such dignity. And and we would talk, and he would say, I can't believe this happened to me, and he at that point obviously had no recollection. I mean, think about, what do you remember at 5 years old? Not very much, not very, one or two maybe events, that's it. But and he died young. He was in his 30s when he passed, and it's just, I'll always miss him. He has a part of my heart, and he will always have a part of my heart. But at the same time, that they're better off. And that's a big part of it for me. So, but yeah, it's just it's, I don't know, it's unreal. So. He was, yeah, sort of like my kid. You looked out for him like that, and we joked and laughed. I mean, if you guys remember, who remembers the Jerky Boys? It was a group of guys that made prank phone calls, um, and we would watch that, or not watch, we would listen to that, and we had our little jokes about that. It was me, him, and his father, and we would put the Jerky Boys in, and we would laugh, and we would have all the jokes, and like we would be out someplace, and we'd look at each other and go, "Hey, chisel chest," like from the Jerky Boys, and it was fun, And his father's gone now too, so it's like I'm the only one left that has those memories, and so that's the weird thing, when it comes to that. So, but I don't know. Like I said, it's just it's part of the journey, folks, and we're all on that journey. And like one of the things today, Dan's only 18 years older than me, so it wasn't like he was this ancient, you know, so much older, and now he has to go into this nursing home. He's only 18 years older than me, and when you see that and you're dealing with that, and then it really puts into perspective your own morality, or your own mortality. That's what I meant to say, was mortality. So you still have a cassette tape of them, Sam said. That's cool. Yeah, that they were fun. They were fun. So, but yeah, it's just my dad's funeral was hard in Texas during COVID. Oh, I imagine. I imagine. So, but you know, but like I said, it's just life is it's interesting. It is definitely definitely that. If it's nothing else, it is definitely interesting. All right. So anyhow, you appreciate what you have when you're around people that are less fortunate than yourself. Here's the thing, and I know I've mentioned this before, guys. I'm going to mention this, and then we're going to move on. What I tell people is this: we all listen. Every single one of us out here, we have bad days, We feel sorry for ourselves. We all go, "Oh, poor me." Why has X, Y, or Z happened to me? I don't care who you are out there. We've all been in that position at one point or another. And this is what I tell people. I said, if you were able to get up out of bed this morning by yourself, okay, and then walk into the bathroom and use the toilet by yourself with no help, then you walked into your kitchen, you made yourself breakfast, and you were able to feed yourself, no help, you were able to do that all on your own. Then you went in and you got dressed for the day again by yourself. Then you left your house, got in your car, and went wherever you're going to go for the day. You're not having a good day, folks. You're having a great day, because there are so many people out there that wish to God they could do those simple little things that we all take for granted. We take them for granted. And, it is, those are the things. Those are the things that we don't think about, and we just automatically assume this is how it should be, right? Um, but those are simple things that are a blessing that a lot of people can't do. So, you know, but yeah, it's just yeah, and you're on the right side of the grass. I always use that one too, Angela. Somebody will say to me, "How you doing today?" I said, "Well, I'm on the right side of the grass, so that it's a good day." But I just lost my mom and mother-in-law within 28 days. Wow. Yeah, that's tough, James. That's tough. Sorry about that. So, but yeah, count your blessings. See, it's always how your perspective is. It's how you look at stuff. It's how you look at life. You know, if you look at things and the glass is always half empty, and you have that negative, pessimistic attitude constantly, that's not good. And here's the other thing: people don't want to be around that. They don't. But if you look at that glass and you go, you know what, that glass is half full, and I look at the positive things and I look at the good things, and that it makes things better. And I've always tried to have a positive attitude, and like I said, I have my days like anybody else, but it's when you bounce back from those, when you go, you know what, okay, I felt sorry for myself yesterday, that's over, let's get on with it. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. So all right, what do we got? 327 in the chat. We got 169 thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. And thank you for doing that ahead of time. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms as well. And I thank you for that reason as well. Again, if you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And again, I thank you ahead of time for that as well. So, all right, let's get into this here. I know, what are we, 23 minutes in the chat, haven't really talked about the subject topic at all. Wow, that's weird. How does that happen, right? Um, we need to be really on top of stuff, folks. You know, because when you have everybody that is in a position of power telling you the inevitability that we will have attacks on American soil, you know, and here's the thing that goes with it: who does it, right? Or who does it get blamed on? There's the one thing: who gets blamed, number one; who actually did it, number two. Yeah, Okie Forge, there's a topic. I know, imagine that, Okie Forge. You know, but again, we will never know what the real deal is whenever something does happen. But when something does happen, it can really truly affect, how our lives are, what goes on, in those type of things. Uh, we are in a really fragile system right now. In that veil of that, it's a very thin veil of civility. And the old saying is, we are 9 meals away from anarchy. And I'm sure a lot of you have heard that. Hey, Asif, good to see you. Uh, we're 9 meals away from anarchy, folks. So what does that mean? It means that don't eat for 3 days, and let's see how we treat each other then. And that's really what it comes down to. And I think a lot of people don't have that concept. Because again, we have been very spoiled. We have not faced adversity in this country. We have not dealt with, our towns and cities being bombed and blown up, and death and dead bodies all over the place, and dead animals, and no food, no fresh water. We haven't had to deal with that. We just haven't. And a lot of other places sure have. And it's just it's something that people need to really consider. Where would you be? What are you going to do? It's, again, I always like to use the analogy: if the lights went out tomorrow and we're not coming back on, how ready are you? And that's what you have to look at. That's what you have to look at. Okay, how long could I last? What am I going to be able to do? Am I going to be able to protect myself? Am I going to be able to protect the people that I love? Those are things that you got to think about. And what am I going to look like coming out of the other side of such an event? What will change in our society in a situation like that? Things could change uh, literally in a blink of an eye. And yet, Lone Wolf Prepper said it is coming. I absolutely believe it is too. When you have the agencies saying that we will have an attack on our own soil, they're just getting us ready because it's coming. Okay. Now, the thing is, who's orchestrating that attack? Is it really a foreign agent that doesn't like this country? Or could it be somebody within our own government that wants to have anarchy for a while so that they can come in and save the day, and intermittently put in more control over the people in the guise of safety? Okay, think about that. You look at again you just, all we have to do, folks, is look at history, right? That's all we got to do. What happened after 9/11, right? Did they magically come up with those papers right after 9/11 and say, here's what we're going to implement? It's for your safety, right? No, those papers were written well before 9/11. They were brought in afterwards, and people went, yes, okay, giving up your rights in the guise of safety. That's what it comes down to. So people um, you know, easily said, that you have to give up your rights, so we're going to protect you. And people just went, yeah, okay. And we're okay with it. Where normally there's no way that that would have ever passed. But, again, they use fear. Critter Lover is absolutely correct. They use fear. And look how fast we all caved during COVID. Yeah, that's a great example. That is a great example. And very few people stood their ground. And that's a fact. That is a fact. The majority of people, I couldn't tell you the number of people that I spoke with that said, well, I just did it because I didn't want to cause any problems. Right. And that's what the majority of people are always going to do. They're always going to go, well, I just don't want any problems, so I'll do whatever I have to do. Or they said, like I'll give you a good example. My stepson, you know, he said, well, I just want to go on with my life. I don't want to be restricted. I don't want to be told I can't do this or I can't do that. So that's why I did it. And I did it because I'm around a lot of older people, and I did it to protect them, right? So he's giving me the one with, that they were using as a tool to get you to do it. You're protecting other people type of thing and all that. And that's one of the reasons that he told me. But his biggest reason was he wanted to go to concerts, and he wanted to go to out to bars, and all that type of thing. And That's why he did it, because he just wanted to go back to being a normal life. And this is what they said you had to do to get that, right? I mean, we all remember. I mean, we remember how it was. So, I just, but that's what a lot of people are always going to do. Again, when you look at Nazi Germany, and I've used this as a great example, folks, because it's such a good example. And when people would say, well, I don't know how, I don't understand how all these people, let themselves be manipulated this way in Nazi Germany. Because if you were in Nazi Germany, I'll tell you a story of this. So there was somebody that I knew, that their aunt or somebody was a young child, and had gone over and was in Germany. And when the war broke out and everything happened, and it took several years before they could get her back to the States. And they eventually got her back to the States. Well, over here, everybody was, helling and damning Hitler. He's a terrible, he's a atrocious monster, and blah, blah, blah. Well, this little girl was sitting there and she would say, Mr. Hitler is a good man, right? Because that's what they believed over there. And that's, they were in the right, and he's a good guy, and he's helping us, and he's making our country better, and he's making our country stronger. And so when the whole thing happened with the virus, I told people, I said, now you know. And they go, what do you mean? I said, you look what happened with this, and how people acted, and how people treated people that wouldn't do it. Okay. Now you know why, how easily people were manipulated in Nazi Germany, because we were. It's as simple as that. Hey, Asif, um, I believe it when Brank, I believe it was Ben Franklin that said, "Those who give up their freedom for safety deserve neither safety nor freedom. Some food for the chickens." Thank you so much. I appreciate the donation, and you're right. Um, People that give up their freedoms in the guise of safety deserve neither. You're 100% correct. It's a tough world, and we got to grow up, and we got to toughen up, and we should, you know. But that is not always what happens, unfortunately. But again, um, manipulation comes in all kinds of different ways, folks. Very subtle manipulation. Commercials on TV, right? Just little subliminal messages, and they've shown that there's a lot of that was done. Why do you think they call TV programming? Why do you think they call it programming? Because it's a manipulation. They're steering you in the direction that they want you to go. We want you to think like this. This is what the American dream is. This is what you should try to aspire to, right? That's what they say, and people buy it. I bought it. I bought it for years. I always tell people, I said, I was on a hamster wheel for years, years and years and years, and chasing that golden ring. And then and then I realized what real true happiness is. It's not stuff. It's not things. It's not money. That's not happiness. You know, it's surrounding yourself with people that you give a crap about, and that you care about, and they care about you. And you have that's the, I'll tell you what, like my daughter and I are very close, and we talk every day. I talk to my mom almost every single day. I talk to my sister quite a bit as well. My relationship with my family is really important to me. And that's the biggest riches that I could have, knowing that my children are good people, that they're not out there robbing and stealing and being scumbags. You know what I mean? It's that's for me. That's the important thing for me, that they're decent and they're doing okay. And yeah, life sucks and sometimes stuff is hard, but they're chugging along, and that's what it's all about at the end of the day. So, but yeah, it's not, happiness is not about having, I mean, you guys look at all. Nick said, Ed, I must have missed videos a while back. I thought your mom was at your New York property. No, mom and Becky were living under the same roof over there on the property, and they were butting heads. And so mom had moved out and moved into a senior high rise. It's not a nursing home; it's a senior high rise, so it's all people, her age and younger and older. And she's got her own place, and she does her thing over there. And my niece is over in that area where she's at, so she's with my mom quite a bit. And then mom does come out and to the homestead and hang out and stuff like that as well. So yeah, but mom's been over there, God, I think like a couple of years now already, so. But weather coming here, lots of buffering. All right, morning light. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, no, there's a lot of crazy weather happening. That is for sure. That is for sure. But again, guys, all cap locks. If you want something to stand out for me to see, it opens up more and I see it better. So, but yeah, it's like one of the things you're seeing a lot. I saw a gentleman the other day, little boy with him, and it was his grandson, and he goes, "Yep, I'm raising him on my own," because he said both of his parents are drug addicts. It's so sad. It is so sad when you look at situations like that. So there's a lot of grandparents out there that don't just get to be grandparents and spoil the kids and send them on back home to mom and dad. They're raising another set of kids because they're, um, Dawn says, I'm raising a grandchild. It happens a lot, Dawn, and I give people a tremendous amount of credit that do that because it's not easy. It's not easy trying to raise your kids when you're young, let alone when you get older and have the second set. And now you're raising the second set of kids. It's hard. It's very, very hard. So I have a lot of respectful people, or a lot of respect for people that have to do that. So it's so wonderful and hard. Yeah, exactly. Asa says weather models show major severe outbreaks Saturday and Sunday in the Midwest this weekend. Be prepared. Thank you very much for that information, Asif, and thank you again for the donation. Yeah, just people need to be safe, need to be aware of what's going on around them, paying attention. Uh, Catbird Prepper says, I'm raising my 3-year-old grandson. A lot of respect for you for doing that because a lot of people won't. They won't do it. They don't want to do it. So grandparents here in NZ raise the kids rather than let the state take over. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, because the last thing you want to do is put them in the system because that will grind them out, chew them up, and then they don't come out better people for it. That is for sure. So that is absolutely for sure. Yeah, the winds here today, guys. Normally, the winds when on my property come down off the hill, and they blow this way. And today they were blowing the opposite direction, which was really, really weird, um, really bizarre because it's not the norm. Because it normally never comes from the east, but that's where that wind was coming from today. So, but it's people are doing what they have to do, and it's not easy, but family is important. Family is important, and all we can do. I somebody said to me, well, how would you feel, if your kids grew up and they went off and did this, that, or the other thing? And I said, listen, my take is this: up until the time they turned 18, I had that control and guidance and all that type of stuff. I said, what they do as an adult, the choices that they make, that's not my fault. If they make stupid choices, that's on them. They've been given a good foundation and they know where I stand and how I feel about stuff. And, you know, every kid's going to make mistakes, folks. Every single one of them. I mean, I couldn't even tell you the number of mistakes I made as a young person. But hopefully those type of mistakes don't cost you where you end up getting jammed up in a bad situation. How is your son doing? My son's doing okay. Eddie's doing all right. He's still with his mom, and I speak with him and we talk, and he's doing okay. So I hear four wheeler. So that's what I was turning, but you can tell it's in the distance. Pretty sure it's in the distance. It's not out here. Yeah, you get people. some people like to get to drink on, and then they act a little silly. So, JJ said, because of the economy, more families than ever are merging together to survive. And I've seen that a lot too. A lot of kids are staying home much, much later than normal. I can remember being a kid. I couldn't wait to be gone. I could not wait to be gone. Um, you know, we had four generations under one roof at one point when I was a kid. We were living in my grandparents' house. My grandparents were there. My great grandmother was, or no, yeah, my great grandmother was there. She was still alive up until I think I was about 12. She was alive. So it was my great grandmother, my grandparents, my mom, and then my sister and I, all living under the same roof. And we were raised, we take care of our own. So, like when my grandfather got sick, and he's had leukemia and he was going downhill. He was home up until the day before his death. He was home, and then when he went into the hospital, and he just skin and bones at the end, skin and bones. And I remember one of the nurses at the hospital, and I was an aide then. I wasn't even a nurse. I was a CNA. And I remember one of the nurses saying, oh my God, I can't believe his skin is in such good condition with being so bad physically. And I looked at her and I said, because I was not going to allow my grandfather to have breakdown. It wasn't going to happen. I've seen way too many bed sores in my day, folks. A terrible, terrible situation. It's terrible, and it takes forever to get them healed up once they get that bed sore. It's a brutal, brutal thing. But we took care of our own, and and that's the way it should be. 5 generations. Somebody's got 5 generations. Wow. But again, what's wrong? And again, this is just me. What's wrong with having the kids home and letting them stay home and helping them out and working together? Yeah, Ducubitus ulcers. I had a guy that when I was a CNA up at a place called Monroe Community Hospital, and I did one of my rotations for nursing school there as well. And we had a guy, and this guy was a jerk. I mean, he was a jerk. He really was. And I used to bust his balls so bad all the time. And and at first he couldn't stand me, but he warmed up to me after a while because I just wouldn't let up. I would not let up. I was always giving him a hard time. Well, he was wheelchair bound, and he had his issues. Well, he ended up having both butt cheeks. He had decubitus ulcers, and if you guys don't know what that is, what happens is the skin breaks down from very deep inside first, okay, and then it works its way out. And by the time it works its way out, uh, it's like a tunnel. It's a tunnel, and what you have to do to try to get it to heal, you have to pack it. So you take gauze, you wet the gauze down with a normal saline, and you pack it into that tunnel. I mean, it's tough. And then you're doing side to side rotation, and they can only be sitting up for so long because you want to try to get that to heal. So yeah, it just you know, I was in a coma for 4 months and not one sore. They took great care of me. Well, that's cool, James. That's awesome. You're very, very fortunate. So, yeah, multiple gauze packs, Dawn. Exactly. And then when you're trying to get them out, when you got to take them out, you got to get like the tweezers and you're pulling them all out. You're, pulling out the string of gauze. It's bad situation. But, when it gets to that point, that's just not good. And that'll kill a person. I mean, you can look into the tunnel, folks, okay? When it's really bad, you can look into that tunnel, that hole that's in their butt cheek, and you can see their bones. So think about that. But not to get morbid. Yes, and it smells very, very badly. Yes, not a good smell, Done. Yeah, we're talking nurse shop, right? But yeah, it's just not fun. Not fun. But I don't ever want to go back to that though. I have seen in when I was a CNA, it's terrible. Yeah, it's not a pleasant thing. As nurses, we do a lot of pretty gross and disgusting things to help people. Not fun. So James says my tailbone still hurts 2 years later. I believe it. I believe it. I'm blessed that I gave the care I give doesn't include wound care. I would have called the nurses. Nurses are so vital in healthcare to others. I appreciate all the help I ever received from nurses. Well, one of the things I always did, I used to always, I used to always tell my aides, if you need help with a lift, I don't care if I'm busy, you come, you get me, and I'll help you. And that's I just thought that that was important. If they needed that help, you have to help. You have to work together. You have to work together. Neighbor Bob said, I think too many people take nurses for granted. Easily one of the hardest jobs in the world. It's not easy, that's for sure, Bob. It is not easy, and I appreciate you saying that. And I think a lot of people do. The expectations a lot of time are unrealistic, especially with family members. Yeah, and then you get the demanding patients on top of that. Oh, it's egg count time, guys. Look at me. We're chatting away here, and the time is flying by. I can't even believe that already that it's there. Okay, real quick again, we got 366 in the chat. We're at 262 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you to please do so to show support for the channel. I thank you ahead of time for that. It really does make a huge difference with the algorithms. So I thank you for that reason as well. Like, comment, and share. Much appreciated. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. All right. How many eggs today? And yes or no, did the white hen lay? So I'll give you guys a moment to get your guesses in, and we will go from there. So. All right, give you guys a moment. It was weird. It was overcast a little bit this morning. And then the sun did come out for quite a while today. And it was never really warm here today. I mean, we were in the 60s, maybe low 60s, but it wasn't exactly warm. And then it overcast this afternoon. So really weird. So I'll give you guys just another minute to get your guesses in, and then I will let you know who the winner is. I'm not sure what they do now because I haven't been in the biz for a little while, but that's very. Oh, somebody said something. Yeah, I have no idea. All right. If you had the same guess is from the man from the land down under, Philip in Melbourne, Australia, with 6 eggs today. And yes, obviously the white hen did lay because all 6 hens laid. Then you are 100% correct. So congratulations to Philip. You've won absolutely nothing, but you are happy. So there you are. So congratulations to Philip from Melbourne, Australia. But yes, it's they've been pretty consistent now that the weather's been better. So when I go out there and there's only like 4 eggs, I'll look at them and I'll go, "What?" But I think I got 5 yesterday, and again, today was the 6th. So they're doing all right. So, but that's where we're at with that. I know I gotta cook up some more. I gotta make some more hard boiled eggs, and I gotta make some more. I'll have to have some over easy. Make some more of those as well. But Now in SHTF, how would you ever treat bed sores or the like? And there's the problem right there. That's actually a fantastic question. You would have to be on top of stuff to make sure they didn't get them, because in a true SHTF situation, bed sores would probably be a death sentence, to be honest with you, because you don't have the supplies to be able to take care of them the way that they need to be, and for them to heal. So it would be extremely difficult. Could it be done? Probably. Herbal remedies would not help with bed sores. It really wouldn't. It's a brutal thing. So, but yeah, it's like you would have to, like I said, you're going to need to be on top of stuff in those type of situations. Maggots ain't going to make a difference. All the maggots are going to do is eat the dead skin. They're not going to really be able to, yeah, prevent it. You have to preventative medicine. So, you got to try to promote that growth so that the skin can heal. And you're not going to be able to. You're just not going to be able to. In an SHTF situation, it's going to be difficult to try to make sure somebody doesn't get an infection. So there's another thing with that, with those bed sores. Infection can set in, and that'll kill you in a heartbeat. So yeah, it's not a good situation. Those are not good situation. Yeah, they would become septic. Yep, exactly. And it would not take long. It would. So where a lot of things that we can treat now that are easily preventable, easy to take care of, and to help people. Those are not going to be the case in a true SHTF situation. They're just not going. It's not going to be able to do so. So yeah, you would. People will decline really quickly without proper medical care. And again, I want you to think about this, guys. Okay, a scratch. I got a scratch here on my arm. Let's see, I can't really see it now because it's healing up pretty good. But so you get a scratch, and you think, no big deal. Very easily in an SHTF situation, uh, can get infected, and if you don't have antibiotics to be able to treat infections, you're going to be in big trouble. You're going to be in big trouble in a hurry. Hello, how are you? It's nice to see you, big baby. Thank you. Thank you for the wet ear. So, but yeah, it's just preventative medicine is going to be huge. Making sure that you are, you know, cleaning. Okay, stop now. You got to go back down. Go. Um, but yeah, it's proper sanitation, making sure you're cleaning yourselves in a regular basis. If you do scratch or hurt yourself, making sure you're washing and doing all those type of things. And a lot of people won't. They won't. They won't think, oh, it'll be fine. No big deal. And I'll tell you what. Like I said, it's not going to be pretty. It is not going to be pretty in a true SHTS situation. People have no idea. They have no concept of it. They really don't. So, yeah, I know she got my whole ear. She licked. So, but yeah, okay, so let's talk about the diabetics with you know uh, insulin dependent diabetics won't be around long, folks. Not at all. Asa said pre-World War II, battle wounds would get infected and killed more folks in the battlefield count. Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for the statement, Asif. And again, thank you very much for the donation. Very much appreciate that. But you're 100% right. I mean, infection's going to be brutal. And here's the thing that a lot of people obviously don't think about. If you don't have medical personnel in your family, right? If you don't have people that know how to do medical stuff, what are you going to do? You don't know what to do. People don't know how to treat it and take care of it. And, they don't know about, turning somebody every 2 hours. And, keeping them off of the pressure points, and then somebody gets sick and you don't know what's going on, and they don't know how to assess it or how to deal with it. There's not going to be a doctor to call. There's not going to be somebody there. If there's an issue with a pregnancy, do you know a midwife that can come in and take care of it? So again, all these things are factors. You need to have people with medical training. If you have a group, you better have people with medical training that know how to assess and look for and try to help. And again, what I've explained to people is this: in a true SHTF situation, I'm not a nurse anymore, folks. I'm now the doctor. That's the reality of it. Um, that's the reality. They're gonna look. People are gonna look to me to take care of those things because of my nursing background. Other nurses in the group, same thing. They're not a nurse anymore. They're now the doctor. We're gonna be having to do any kind of surgeries. We're gonna be the ones that have to do those type of things. If there needs to be an amputation, right? If somebody's got gangrene going on, to save their life, you're going to need to do an amputation, and part of an amputation would be, right? Let's look at this, right? So I'm going to take this pan, and after I've heated this pan till it's glowing red, I'm going to have to take that against the stump that where your foot or your leg was and put it there to cauterize. You know, I mean, it's not going to be pretty in that situation. So I went septic when I was in a coma on a ventilator, stomach bleeds, trach, multi-organ failure, collapsed lung, all from COVID. Now I'm in a wheelchair and on oxygen ventilator at night to sleep. Wow, that's tough, James. That's tough. So yeah, well. I'm glad you're still with us. But apparently you did not have a good time with that whole situation. But again, um, knowing and learning, you know, herbs and what can medicinal plants, what can treat what. A lot of those are going to be huge in play in that type of situation. I know, like I said, JJ has been dealt a crap hand here. He's had a lot of things go wrong, in his life, and he's fighting, and he's still with us, and which is great. And you just never know. You just never know. And I'm still here because I'm stubborn. I hear you, man. I hear you. Yep. There's you just can't quit. And that's the problem. Too many people in life will just quit. They'll quit life, and that's kind of sad. So life is what you make of it. That's what it comes down to, you know. That's what it comes down to. Life is what you make of it. It can be a miserable experience, or you can go, okay, I got dealt this, that, or the other thing, and I'm going to deal with it, and we're going to get it taken care of, and we're going to drive on. I mean, and that's all any of us can do. That's all anybody can do is just take care of the things that you can take care of, control the things that you can control, try to get better as much as you possibly can be, have quality of life. Now, like James was saying, he's in a wheelchair. Can he still have quality of life? Absolutely, he can. He absolutely can still have quality of life. It's what you decide to do with it and how you do it. That's what it comes down to. I just found out I'm resistant to most antibiotics. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. I'll tell you what I have. I don't. I got to be careful how I say this. For my fish, all right. For my fish, I have four different types of antibiotics for my fish because in a true SHTF situation, if I give my fish the same antibiotic over and over and over again, they could build up an immunity to it. And we don't want that, right? We want to make sure our fish are fine. So the first time I would use one of the four antibiotics that I have. The next time my fish got sick, I would use a different antibiotic on them. Denise, I save all old antibiotics if I can safely and naturally cure the infection. I may need them down the road. Absolutely, I understand that, Denise, and thank you again so much for the donation. Very much appreciated. So, Robert says your fish are lucky. Well, I try to plan ahead, Robert, for my fish. Again, thank you, Denise, for the donation as well, and thank you for the statement. Yeah, it's just proper planning, folks. It's what it comes down to. And again, people don't think about that rotation type of thing. You're going to definitely need to make sure that you have more than one kind of antibiotic for your fish. So, but you just do what you have to do. But what's the best kind for your fish? It really depends because some people, let me rephrase. Some fish, uh, they have an intolerance to certain antibiotics, so you got to be careful of that. If they have an allergic reaction to a certain kind of antibiotics, you definitely don't want to give them that kind of an antibiotic. So, that's something you need to know too with your fish. What are their allergies and stuff like that. So, but no, again, it's just proper planning, folks. It's what it always comes down to: proper planning. And that's Everclear. Yeah. Oh my God. But again, like I said, it's just hoping again, plan for the worst and hope for the best. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole lot of faith in mankind. So, I unfortunately I believe that we're in big trouble. And so I just try to do the best that I possibly can. And when the time comes, we'll deal with what we got to deal with. So all right, we're gonna do what do we got? 311 in the chat still. We're at 307 on the thumbs up. What number should we say? Let's say 350, guys. Why not? Let's say, hey Asif, I'm a salmon always swimming against the current. There you go. Nothing wrong with that, Asif. Thank you again for the donation. Very much appreciated. So again, the goal is going to be 350 on the thumbs up. So if you have not shot a thumbs up yet, I'm going to ask you once again to do so to show support for the channel. I do appreciate that. It really does make a huge, huge difference with the algorithms. And thank you as well. Okay, 2 a.m. Full of Hope. Listen, Full of Hope, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you staying up late with us. Get some sleep. Uh, but again, like I said, like, comment, share, very much appreciated as well. If you are not subscribed to the channel, I would ask you to please subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. And I thank you for that reason as well. So we're at 321 now. 350 is the goal. So 29 more thumbs up, guys. Let's see if we can hit that goal before we jump off of here. All right. So I'm going to get a drink, and then we're going to do shout outs. All right, we got Heavenly Hills Homestead growing giant vegetables. Uh, Ryan's a good guy, definitely worth a watch and listen to. Maybe you can pick up some tips, which is always what we're looking, to do as well. You have Icky Can up in Canada, living off grid up there, doing his thing. Real good guy. Definitely check him out as well. You have Angry Prepper, that is Jason down in New York City. Definitely check out Jason and see what he's doing as well. Definitely worth to listen to. There is Alaska Prepper. That is Rudy up in Alaska doing his thing up there. Definitely go show him some support as well. You have Alaska Granny. There is Sean James with the Sean James channel and myself Reliance, two different channels. Same guy, living up in Canada, living off grid, master builder. Very interesting to watch what he does as well. Really like his channel. There is Demcat, another straight shooter. I like him as well, giving you a lot of good information. You have Corporal's Corner, Bjorn Hansen. There is 80K Man up in the Adirondacks doing his thing up there. You have Bizarrizajizza, who does the Carrington Chronicles. It's a very interesting story. Definitely worth to listen to. You can pick up some tips from that story. You have Marfugal News, Adam and Dax out on the West Coast doing their thing out in Seattle. Definitely worth a listen to. You have Magic Prepper in North Dakota. There is Wranglestar. That is Cody. Cody's a good guy. A lot of good stuff on his channel. Definitely worth a listen to as well. You have Red Poppy Ranch. There's Survival Lily coming at us from across the pond in Europe to give us all the latest updates of what's happening there. Kyle's Cabin with Kyle and Sierra up in Minnesota doing their thing up there, living off grid. Nice young couple, really getting at it up there. You have Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods, husband wife team, two different channels, good people. They split their time between Michigan and Alaska. Definitely worth to listen to with them. Good folks, and they got a lot of good information on their channel. There is Green Greg's, another very down to earth guy, definitely worth to listen to. Southern Prepper 1 with his Boots on the Ground series. They have good series as well there. Gray Man Prepping. You have Doug and Stacy. Doug and Stacy have been around for a long time. Good people as well. A lot of good information on their channel. You have the Nomadic Movement down in Panama. Nice young couple down there living off grid, doing their thing. Definitely worth to listen to and seeing what they're doing down there. You have the Green Dream Project out in Arizona. Again, nice people out there living off grid again, doing their thing, showing you what it takes to live in the desert. There's Camping with Steve Wallace doing stealth camping, very down to earth guy, and definitely worth to listen to up in Canada. There is Bush Doctor Survival. You have Monkey Works. There is the Needy Homesteader. She's been around for a long time, gone through a ton of adversity. She just got new teeth, too, by the way, so good for her. So she's on the mend, healing, but a lot of good information with her channel as well. You have Boss of the Swamp, another builder, definitely worth to listen to. Fun to watch him and do his thing up there. There is Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Again, Diamond is a very smart guy. Anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, that's and she got remarried, Dawn said. Okay. I did not know she got remarried, so that's good for her. So Diamond, anything you want to know about the Grand Solar Minimum, good guy as well. There is Patera with the Appalachian Homestead. Straight shooter. I like her. She says it like it is, and I like that. I respect that a lot. Let's see. We have City Prepper. There's Lumina Acres. You have Suspicious Observer, giving you all the latest of what's going on with the sun and all that. So definitely check him out as well. There is Bear Independent. You have the Uneducated Economist. There is Bushcraft Bear in the Canary Islands of La Palma. There is Mary Greeley News. Mary Greeley is really good, giving you all the latest information of what's going on with Yellowstone and everything like that. Definitely worth a listen to. There is Adapt 2030. You have Malachi's Corner. Truth Be Told with Tara. If you're going to get your weather, guys, there's only one guy you should be getting your weather from, and that is Ryan Hall Y'all. Ryan Hall is a great guy, very passionate about the weather, but he gives back to the community in a huge way when there's a disaster as well, and I think that's awesome that he does that. There's Russell Brand. I like Russell Brand as well. He gives you the information. He lets you decide what you want to do with it, so definitely check him out as well. We have Deep South Homestead, another very family-friendly oriented channel, definitely worth to listen to as well. Good people. You have The Outsider up in Maine. There is Betting on Alaska. The young man is the son of Bush Radical and Girl in the Woods. Really good people, good young man, great voice. This kid has got if you listen to his voice, you'd be like, there's no way this kid is 18. But great voice for radio or television. And, he's doing his journey and good for him. You have The Fit Farmer. There is Prep Rebel. You have Simple Life Reclaimed. There's also Townsend's. Townsend's is showing you what it's like to live in the 1800s. And so I think that that's a good thing to definitely check out as well. You have The Prepared Mind. There's Pinball Preparedness down in Tennessee. You have East Tennessee Preparedness, The Economic Ninja, and last but not least, Little House Off Gritty. Also down in Tennessee. A lot of good channels out there, a lot of good information. Again, I'm a big believer that we should be supporting each other. So that's why I do the shout outs. I can't give a shout out to everybody, but I try to do the best I can. I know you guys put other people that you like in the comments, which is absolutely fine. I have no issue with that. So what are we at? 338. We need 12 more thumbs up, guys. Goal's 350. So we need 12 more thumbs up to see how close I know you guys are going to do it. You guys are going to crank it out. I know that. So 12 more thumbs up to get us to that 350 goal. And I do appreciate that. Again, it really does make a huge difference with the algorithms too. So the more interaction, again, like I said, like, comment, share, definitely helps the channel out a ton. Again, if you are not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that bell icon to get all notifications as well. If you've been on the channel for a while and you're not getting notifications, check your notifications. Check to see if you're still subscribed. YouTube is very famous for doing so. So definitely, got to pay attention to that as well. But a lot of games being played constantly. So anyway, there we are. Look at that, 350, just like that, guys. Awesome. Appreciate that. So I won't ask for any more, but if you'd like to make that number go higher, that would be awesome. So I do appreciate that. So thank you so much. But with everything that's going on, like I said, we need to continue to be as ready as we can be. I'm going to always continue to encourage you to prep, to not be victims. I don't want you to get victims, okay? If you're a victim, then you're standing in line with everybody else waiting for your handout. If you are proactive about it and you're on top of things, you're going to be in a better chances of surviving whatever happens. You can help yourself. And I think that that's important that we do that. Being proactive and putting ourselves in situations to win is the key. I'm 70 years old, raising a 15 and a 17-year-old. It's tiresome, and I had to go back to work. Wow. Yeah, that's tough, brother. I'm sorry that you're having to deal with that, but those kids are going to appreciate that, hopefully, that you're there for them. So Arizona Republicans indicted. Oh, they have been going nuts. I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but boy, there is definitely a witch hunt going on out there. And, reminds me of another date, a January date. I don't remember what day it fell on, but you know what I'm saying. Definitely things are happening. I don't know if you guys saw, I'm going to mention this really quickly. Somebody showed a picture of, the compound, if you will, if they're calling, whatever they're calling it, up at Columbia with the tents. Initially, they said they had to have them down by midnight tonight. Well, now they've rescinded that. They said, nope, they don't have to be down by midnight. So who knows how long they're going to let them keep them up there. But if you saw a picture of that, there's a main tent, and you would think, right, there'd be a hodgepodge of other tents because, they're protesters and they're coming in and they're bringing their tents and they're putting their tents up. Not everybody has the same tent. All these tents around this main enclosure are all the same. Think about that. They're all the same, which goes towards organization, right? Like I said early in the stream, whose money is behind all this? They've proved that these organizers are being backed by George Soros. Um, you know, so, and the students are basically pawns. That's all they are. They're being manipulated. They're being used. It's what happens. It's unfortunate, but that is the way that it goes. So, anyway, let's do this, folks. We are Legion because we are many. We are all over the country. We're all over the world. Where is everybody from tonight? We got Robert coming out of Northern Virginia, Philip in Melbourne, Australia, our egg count winner of the day. Canton, Ohio with Chad, Connecticut with Awesome Sauce, Connecticut with T, Central Iowa, Nowhere, Oklahoma, BC, Canada with Janet, Northern Highlands of California with Lori, Huntsville, Alabama with Red, UP of Michigan with Dawn, Palatka, Idaho with Janita, Ontario, Canada. East Central Illinois with Ranger, Central Virginia with Janet, Southern Connecticut with Bob, Keystone Heights, Florida with WD, Wayne County, New York with CJ, Melbourne, Florida with Joe, Village Homestead coming out of Central New York, uh, Pacific Northwest with Tess, Central Illinois, Grandma Jackie, nurse also, very nice. Jessica coming at us out of Wisconsin, East Central Indiana with Pam B, Eddyville, Kentucky with Sherry, sunny California, Greenlee County, Arizona with Codster, Fort Worth, Texas with Sonia, North Huntington Park with Lefty, Charlotte County, Florida with Gloria, Batavia, New York with Dubiz, West Central Ohio with Dale, AZ Land with Mars Gold, Tucson, Arizona with Angela, Vancouver, Washington State with Gary, Cleveland, Ohio with C. Ray. We got Brenda coming at us from New Hampshire, Bubba One out of Michigan, Jacqueline out of Western North Carolina. So again, folks, all over the country, all over the world, we're a huge, huge network of people. We're the ones that can make a difference. We can make a difference now by trying to help people, trying to wake people up, and we can make even more of a difference after an event by educating people, teaching people how to help themselves, and they're going to be needing that help. We got Morning Light coming at us out of West Virginia. So, it just, again, folks, keep prepping. Take care of your business. Take care of the people that you love and care about. It's going to make a big difference in the long run. The more proactive we are, the better off we're going to be. You're never going to be ready. I can tell you that right now from a prepper who's been doing it for a very long time. We are never going to be 100% ready. We're going to be as ready as we can be. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure that we're as squared away as we can be. And when that time comes, we will deal with things accordingly. But it's tough, and you better group up. Guaranteeing you that right now. You better get together with a group and go from there. So, never got notified for this live freaking YouTube. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you about that. Sorry about that. Check your notifications and see if if they're on or not. That's the only thing you can really do. So, anyway, guys, I want to thank my moderators who do an absolutely fantastic job in the chat, keeping the chat clean. Very much appreciated. They are awesome, ladies and gentlemen, that moderate me. So once again, thank you so much. I want to thank all of you guys for being here as well, supporting the channel, being part of what we're doing here. It does mean a lot because if you're not here, then I'm not here. So it's really appreciated and it's a lot of fun. I do enjoy these live streams. And hopefully we share information. Hopefully we are better prepared for whatever we can do. So, just do the best that you can. So, CJ said, still haven't found us a group. Sorry about that, man. Hopefully you're able to. Hopefully you're able to. So, but anyway, guys, remember, we truly are all in this together. We are one race called the human race. As soon as we figure that one out, we're going to be in much better shape. If we can come together as human beings, we can accomplish anything. There's nothing that could stop us from accomplishing anything. We have to stop letting them divide us. They like to use race. They like to use religion. They like to use political affiliation to keep us fighting amongst ourselves so that we will never go after the true problem, which is big business and the government, okay? Who want what? Total and complete control of us. And if we continue to let them do it, they're going to continue to erode our rights and our freedoms. And then one day your kids or grandkids are going to wake up and have no freedoms anymore. And that's not a good thing. Also remember, guys, to hug and kiss the ones that you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really, really important that we tell the people that we care about every single day how we feel. That's my take on it. I think it's important. Last but not least, STD, step, thing, and day. One step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you are trying to do, folks, you use that acronym. Doesn't have to be about prepping. It doesn't have to be about living off grid. It is whatever goals or aspirations that you have in your life. If you set realistic goals that you can make and meet, then set about to making them happen. The only person that is going to stop you from achieving those goals is going to be you. That's it. Nobody else. So stay positive. Stay away from the negativity. Stay away from negative people telling you what you cannot accomplish. They're bitter and they're miserable, and you don't want to be around those type of people anyway. Surround yourself with positive people. It makes all the difference in life. It really, truly does. Make those goals happen. I could not tell you how many times, again, and I've said this before, people have said to me, oh, well, you can't do that. That can't get done. There's no way this, there's no way that. And my reply has always been the same: watch me. And guess what? It always gets done. So, I don't listen to those type of people. They don't define who I am. They don't know what my determination is. So have that determination, stay focused, and take care of your business. Folks, listen, have a great night. Have a good weekend. Everybody that is in Tornado Alley, please, please be safe. Pay attention to what's going on. Be as ready as you can be. Have a great night, and I will talk to you all later. Prepper Nurse One, out for now.